The music here. Music. There it is. That was the music button. We got to talk about how you can have to sell out and play crappy mobile games on Facebook Gaming. You ready?
If we're gonna call it selling out, all right, yeah, I'm ready for this.
This is the new selling out. All right, play the ad. This podcast is sponsored by Restream. Why live stream to one platform when you can simultaneously live stream to every platform to discover new audiences faster using Restream.io? Selling out, playing games you don't even like. Is it something that you have to do to be successful on Facebook Gaming? Turns out, kinda. Well, it depends if you like these top 10 games on Facebook Gaming that are gonna grow your page. Andrew Perrin is here with me. He just recently got fan subscriptions enabled. I'm gonna get mine here soon. And we've been growing our audiences substantially on Facebook Gaming, getting, in my case, 10 to 15,000 views per 2-hour stream, which is amazing. Getting 100 to 200 concurrents. Perrin, you've been getting about the same with this top 10 game strategy, right?
Yeah, it's been really consistent ever since I swapped over to one of the top 10 mobile games. I've had regular returning viewer growth, like really high returning viewer growth, and when I have alerts on my stream, and just all stream long, it just follows, shares, engagements, comments, and clearly Facebook Gaming is the platform for mobile games to shine, and so the viewership there is one of its main points. So as soon as you swap to a mobile game, you will likely notice this difference. Doesn't mean you necessarily have to choose a mobile game. There are other games that are not mobile games that are top on this platform, but mobile games for sure are a main focus.
That makes sense. And there's also, we're going to show you right now. Let's just pull it up on the screen right now. Here is a listing of all of the top games on Facebook. How do you get to this page so that you can do this research, Perrin, and take a look on a daily basis on what your options are? Notice how everything here is not a mobile game. There are some major AAA games here. I'd say maybe half of these are mobile games, and the other half of the top 10 are actually non-mobile games. How do you get to this page? What is the URL so people can do their own research?
Yeah, so I always start off by going to facebook.com/gaming or fb.com/gaming. And then I normally click browse games, and what it will do is it will actually sort by your suggested first. So you have to come up here and sort by viewers high to low. So you actually have to make sure you make this selection over here to see this view. And this is important if you're doing research on maybe you're not sure what you should play, or whatever you're currently streaming is not really working and you're looking at trying something different. Do your research by doing it by this view. Go viewers high to low. Check this page during different times of the day because Facebook is international. There's lots of viewers from all around the world. And so these categories bump and shift all over the place throughout the day. So it's good to check it multiple periods throughout to see what rises and what falls. For example, PUBG Mobile is normally #1. But if you wait towards later in the day, Free Fire will overtake it at some points because of the time of day, simply put. And you'll notice that across the board for a lot of these different games.
Cool. So let's just review the top 10 while it's on the screen. I don't want to clickbait people. Let's just tell them what the top 10 are and which ones actually consistently stay in the top 10, and then which ones maybe are anomalies that pop in there from time to time and may confuse you. So like you mentioned earlier, PUBG Mobile up top, usually #1. It's also very highly competitive to actually get results there. But as you can see, there are 118,000 people watching that supposedly right now. That's insane. It's absolutely crazy. That's #1 by far. Often it doubles whatever the #2 game is in terms of viewership. #2 is consistently Free Fire Battlegrounds. I don't know if you've seen the same thing, Perrin. I rarely see that game not at #2. And it's been pretty steady with PUBG Mobile #1, Free Fire #2 for the last month or so.
Yeah, so Free Fire is the battle royale game for gamers around the world who don't have a PC or a console. And so the BR that they play is Free Fire for the most part. And so that's why you'll see it kind of get tossed in and out from from PUBG Mobile. PUBG Mobile definitely has more of a North American audience. Free Fire, very much less so. Almost no North American audience, almost entirely international. And we're talking India, the Philippines, Eastern Asian countries, a lot of viewers from there as well. So that's the difference. It's just based upon geography as to why these two shift. But I would say PUBG Mobile and Free Fire both like number 1, number 2 interchangeably.
That makes sense. And number 3, here's where it's relevant. We're going to show you Andrew Parent's page. He's been capitalizing on this game, or Astral, I'm sorry, as your gamer tag. He's been capitalizing on Mobile Legends, which is, I'd say, moves between the number 3 and number 4 spot in terms of viewership on Facebook gaming. Tell us what your decision-making was like. I mean, I think that you were similar to me, and we have your page on the screen right now. You were similar to me in that you started playing these kind of like, you know, regular, I guess you could say, games that aren't popular on Facebook, games that you personally like and you wanted to give a go at it. It didn't work. I did the same thing. And then you switched to a top 10 and you blew the hell up. Tell us about that thinking. Tell us about how that played out for you. And then tell us about the difference and the excitement and the enjoyment once you switched to a mobile game and you kind of broke outside of your shell to try something new.
Yes, I started with Skyrim, and then I went to Star Citizen for many weeks. And you guys know, because I've talked about this on the podcast in the past. And I was growing, I think, on Facebook gaming, but very slowly. And I did that for weeks, probably like a month and a half, and saw very slow growth. I mean, it was growth, but it was really slow. And then as soon as I swapped out, the first thing I tried was Free Fire. And instantly my stream, I think in that one, I got up to like 100 or 250 concurrent viewers at max point at that, just with that very first stream that I hit Free Fire with. And I thought, oh, clearly this is part of the strategy here. And clearly if you want to get noticed, hitting one of these games, one of these mobile games, or one of these other big games on the platforms as a way to actually blow up your growth. I was actually in a period where I couldn't really figure out what game I wanted to play anyway. Like I wasn't super tied to Skyrim and I wasn't super tied to Star Citizen. I was looking for something new. So branching out and trying something new greatly benefited me. I eventually came over to Mobile Legends. I don't like FPS games too much. Like I tend to get bored of them after a while, but I've always liked MOBAs. I played lots of Heroes of the Storm. I played Dota 2 in the past. And it's been a long time. I've never really gotten into a mobile one. So I figured I would give Mobile Legends a try. I'd played it in the past for like a week at some point and I liked it. I just never really stuck with it. So I swapped something that I knew I would like. And honestly, it was incredible. Like the amount of energy I got just from the new viewers coming in and the excitement around my streams really propelled me to like the game a lot more. I already did like it a pretty good bit, honestly. But
well, click on that stream, man. Let's see your stream and let's see your chat flying over there because this has blew me away. I tuned into 2 of your streams yesterday for Mobile Legends. You just started covering this game. This is why we're doing this episode. You just started covering this game and you are now really big. Like you have a nonstop, super active chat. Stars are flying in through the door. I mean, yesterday when I was just checking you out randomly, you had 180 to you broke over 200 concurrents while I was watching you. I mean, you just started covering a game and within a month, less than a month, you are now getting hundreds of concurrent viewers, over tens of thousands of total viewers checking you out during your streams. I mean, that's unheard of on Twitch, on YouTube, on DLive, on Mixer, on anywhere else. Going from 0 to there, I mean, it takes people years to accomplish what you've accomplished in just a few weeks just by switching to a popular game on Facebook. Is it that simple? Just switching to a popular game? Like, is that all there is to it? Okay, I'll play mobile games and now I'm famous. Is it that simple or is there more to it?
I mean, kind of it's that simple. I mean, there's more to it because it's not like we're the only ones who have caught on to this strategy. Other people have too. So you are competing with those other people. So you do need to stand out to some degree. And so I had things in my stream that particularly made me stand out. Like I play with a Xbox controller on Mobile Legends, which is not typical. So that kind of made me stand out. That piqued people's interest. I don't want to like talk too much about my stream realistically, but once you swap over, we've watching viewers and listeners of our podcast do the same thing, and they have the same results. They are also blowing up very quickly. They're also getting, over like hundreds of likes, thousands of comments, multiple hundreds of concurrent viewers. I mean, I started this stream last night. I went into like a ranked game at about 80 concurrents, and I didn't check my concurrent viewership until afterwards, and suddenly I was looking at 450 concurrents watching me. Like, whoa, what? Like, when did 400 people get here to watch me? And that just happens. That happens when you play these bigger titles on this platform.
You had 400 people concurrently watching you for Mobile Legends on Facebook, and you just got started. That is crazy.
Yeah, it was up. I think the 453 was my peak for this one particularly, and that doesn't happen every stream, but it happens more often than not. And I've noticed this too, AWOL, with your Call of Duty streams. Let's take a look at those real quick. And I'm going to go back to the games here because Call of Duty Mobile, where is it out on here? It's actually farther down. I think it's because it's early Eastern time today.
Yeah. So we can talk about Call of Duty Mobile on my channel here really quick. So if you play the same game over and over and over and over and over again on your channel, it obviously works and it builds audience, because when you get your stream started, you encourage people to type !notify, and then obviously they come back when you stream that game again. And so Call of Duty Mobile, when we pull up the screen here, you'll see that it's barely in the top 10 games, barely. And it actually is normally barely in the top 10 games, but it is there. And there's consistently about 5,000 to 7,000 people watching Call of Duty Mobile at any point. I would say if you're wanting to break out on Facebook, I would not play a game on Facebook that has less than 5,000 concurrent viewers on average, just because the amount of new eyeballs that could possibly flood into your stream is quite low. And so that eliminates a lot of games, popular games, like Valorant and like PES 2020, like even like Fortnite, Euro Truck 2, etc. Games like this, they're a little bit iffier and they're a little bit more difficult to break out on. So you want games that have over 5,000 concurrent viewers on average. So if you want to pull up my page, I just want people to see the results. So I, like you, was playing whatever game I wanted to play. I was playing Anthem. I was playing, I was playing Minecraft Dungeons. I was playing whatever, right? And I was doing okay. The quality of my stream was all right. And then I started covering Call of Duty Mobile on a regular basis. And then I started getting hundreds of followers per stream. I started breaking out into 75, 80 concurrents during my stream. And then I started breaking out into 150, 175 concurrent viewers in my streams. And when I take a look at my statistics afterwards, 10,000 to 15,000 people would stop by my streams. And this is like maybe number 10 out of 10 games on Facebook, and I would just start blowing up. So basically every time I stream this game, I get over 100 concurrent viewers at some point, and I get about at this point consistently 5,000 to 15,000 viewers stopping by. Super active chat, tons and tons of likes. Like this particular stream had like 300 likes. I had close to 600 comments. It's just a wildly active community. These are not fake viewers. These are not bots. These are not low quality viewers. Don't listen to anybody who's lying to you about Facebook gaming. These are real people that are really watching and are really engaging. I'm playing with them. I'm playing viewer matches with them right now on the stream that you're watching right now. Super engaged community. So let's go back to the games list, because people came here to know which games are best to cover. So this is just we are each switched from random games to top 10 games and are blowing up. That was the whole point of showing that. So number 1, PUBG Mobile. Number 2, Free Fire. Number 3, Mobile Legends. Number 4 varies. And so it tends to move between PC console games and mobile games. So Arena of Valor is a mobile game. And it does swap spots with Grand Theft Auto 5, Player, and PUBG, regular PUBG. And so those kind of switch between the number 3, 4, and 5 spot on a regular basis based on what I've seen. Have you seen the same thing, Perrin? It just kind of depends on the day and who's streaming and what time of day it is. Those 3 games kind of move in and out. With PUBG rarely moving into the top 5.
Yeah, I mean, definitely Grand Theft Auto. I would say Grand Theft Auto 5 is like the best non-mobile game on here, and you'll see it rise up. And overtake some of these other ones. Sometimes these are all interchangeable. I haven't really checked out Arena of Valor much at all. I imagine it's somewhat similar to Mobile Legends, although Mobile Legends clearly being over top of it. It's like the number 2 MOBA. And then PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds is interestingly not as popular as its mobile counterpart for the reasons that we stated before, because of the international audience that doesn't have a PC or a console or whatever to play games they only have their phones. So if you're trying to tie between the two and you wanted more growth, I would go for the mobile version. If you wanted a more North American audience, I would go for the non-mobile version. Just depends on maybe what you're trying to do, but both would be solid choices in terms of picking a game that's going to help you grow on this platform.
I absolutely agree. And so kind of the bottom of the list here does include Dota 2, which is in the top 10 on a regular basis. That's a PC only game. League of Legends, PC only game. And look, Call of Duty Modern Warfare and Call of Duty Warzone also fluctuating within the top 10 on a regular basis. So when we talk about play mobile games and make it, if you look at the top 10, let's count out the number of mobile games versus non-mobile games. Number 1 is mobile, number 2 is mobile, number 3 is mobile, number 4 is mobile. Take note of that. So the top 4 games are actually mobile games. But in the rest of the top 10, all of the rest of the top 10 other than Call of Duty Mobile are non-mobile games. So 5 of the top 10 are mobile, 5 of the top 10 are non-mobile games. So you're not forced to play mobile games to grow on Facebook Gaming. But if you want to play the top games, you are going to probably have to play mobile games. So just keep that in mind. So I want to point out one thing. There's going to be games that climb into the top 10 list when you're doing research. And you're going to be like, what? Is this a top game on Facebook-ish? And these games are going to be like Wormmate.io. They're going to be games like Euro Truck Simulator. They're going to be random games like Age of Empires. Maybe you'll break out into there. Maybe even American Truck Simulator will break in there. Farming Simulator. These types of games will break into the top 10 because somebody who's a big streamer or personality is playing them, not because they're actually a top 10. And so it's really important that you do your research. You look here every single day and you see what is consistently toward the top, what is consistently getting high views. Those are the games that you should consider. Don't overthink it. Just play them. Just play them on your stream. Just see what results you get. Test it. And don't also, I'd like to say, and I'm going to go full screen for this, don't assume you're not going to like the game because you've never played it before. Look, if you want to be successful, you got to play the games that are going to make you successful. Like, I'm sorry that the games that you like are Nintendo games only. Guess what? If you play Nintendo games, you're going nowhere on Facebook. You're going to get zero traction with Nintendo games on Facebook. Sorry. So if you want to be successful on this platform, you're going to have to play other games or you're going to have to go somewhere else. And that's just the reality of it. And so people message me, they're like, well, I'm the type of gamer that likes to play game 1, 2, and 3. How can I make that work on Facebook Gaming? I'm like, look, dude, are those games in the top 10? Then no, you're not going to be successful on Facebook Gaming probably. I don't know, Perry, am I being too harsh here or is that the reality of the situation?
I think you can be successful, but it's going to take a lot longer. Like clearly even the non-top 10 games on Facebook, you can grow, but it's going to take so much longer. It would make more sense to stream one of the top 10 games, build up a huge audience, and then transition to different games. Like build up true fans that'll follow you anywhere by amassing a huge viewership on one of these games, and then transition to other games, including the ones that you really, really like. Trying to force these other games to work isn't going to work for you quickly. So you either have to change your strategy or change your expectation, because I could be successful streaming Star Citizen likely on Facebook, but it would probably take me 4 to 5 years to do so. And I don't really feel like it's a good idea in my strategy to have a 5-year growth plan on a single game. Knowing me, I will change from that game anyway at some point because I'm fickle and I tend to like to pick different games. I'll burn out for one and go play another. So I wanted to be able to transition my audience to different games already. And by playing the top games, you can get them accustomed to playing different titles. I swapped from Free Fire to PUBG Mobile to Mobile Legends. I've been playing a lot more Mobile Legends now, but I swapped around and it was fine as long as I'm staying within these top games. There's also a strategy here that I want to review with you guys. Whenever you're doing your research, let's take a look at Fortnite. Like, let's see if Fortnite is good for streaming.
Well, real quick before you
on
go into this, like we can provide our opinion. Mr. Kasla, by the way, started streaming Fortnite, and he's breaking out with like 300 concurrents out of nowhere, and he got fan subscriptions out of nowhere. So it is doable. So it is possible. But please keep going.
Yeah. Wait, did you say he's streaming Fortnite? He's doing Mobile Legends.
Oh, he's doing Mobile Legends now. I'm sorry. He was streaming Fortnite, and then he switched to Mobile Legends. That's what you're saying?
Yes, correct.
Oh,
yeah.
well, then there's another case of somebody saying, well, he streamed a lot of Fortnite. So then it sounds like he was like, look, he could have gone in here and been like, I'm a Fortnite creator, and so I'm going to play Fortnite hell or high water on Facebook and try to make it work. But instead, what he did is he switched to Mobile Legends, and then he blew up. So he was willing to be flexible to become successful is what you're telling me. And that's really, really cool. But please continue with Fortnite. You're kind of looking to see whether it's viable or not.
Yeah, so this is a little practice I do is you go down through at any point time of the day, maybe check multiple times of the day to see, especially if it's a title that moves up and down a lot, check and just browse through this view of all of the different streams and look at the concurrent viewership. And what you're looking for is how many have a really low count, how many have like 5 or less. And also you want to make note of how many have 0, how many people are streaming to this and have 5 or less, and also how many have 0. There's a lot here in Fortnite. There's a lot that have 5 or less. I don't see any that have 0 yet, but there are some that have 2, 3, 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 2.
Well,
1,
on
1,
Facebook,
1, 3.
on Facebook, isn't 1 actually 0? No, they do show 0. They do show 0.
They do show 0. Yeah.
Okay.
See 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. Actually, there's quite a bit of zeros. If you see a lot of zeros, this goes back to our supply and demand conversations from previous episodes. You're looking for the supply versus the demand, and you can actually just visualize it by scrolling down this feed. If you see a lot of zeros, a lot of ones, that means you have people streaming here and they're not getting any audience. It means the chances of you streaming here and getting a lot of new people into your stream are low. If you go to some of the other categories, Fortnite actually looks pretty bad compared to ones I've seen. There's a lot of ones.
This one's maybe the worst I've seen, dude. Look how many donuts are here, man. Like, this looks like Twitch.
I would not stream Fortnite on Facebook after scrolling through this, because out of all the times I've done this has been the worst I've ever seen it. Like, normally there's okay if there's like 1 or 2 zeros, but the more you see that, the more it should indicate to you that there are a lot of people streaming here and not as many people wanting to watch, right? I mean, there are a lot of zeros here. People don't want to watch Fortnite on Facebook gaming. They just don't.
I see why Mr. Kasla jumped off of this, and he decided not to do Fortnite here, and he decided to do mobile gaming, Mobile Legends instead. And he's a guy that blew up on TikTok from 0 to 50,000 followers on TikTok doing Fortnite content, and he was willing to be flexible to be successful. Well, just click on Mobile Legends right now. Just click on Mobile Legends. Or one of these other viable games.
Call of Duty because it will take me a while to scroll through Mobile Legends.
Do Call of Duty. Now, Call of Duty, keep in mind, I stream late night, so like 12 hours from now. And I tell you what, the Philippines viewers love this game. And so if you're you might be getting a massively international audience. You might be getting a lot of people from the Philippines playing these different mobile games and watching you. And so depending on the time of day, the viewership is going to fluctuate drastically in my experience. So if we're streaming in the morning here, it may be highly competitive in the Philippines. Where if I stream at night here, it'd be way less competitive in the Philippines. And so, I don't know, it just depends on the game and where the audiences are for those games.
Yeah, just going through here, I think outside of the mornings in the U.S., it doesn't look like the mornings in the U.S. are as good for this one. I bet you later in the day, possibly. Actually, it doesn't look too bad. In the beginning, it was starting to look bad. There were like a couple of zeros and a couple of ones, but otherwise, this one looks okay, I think. Scrolling down through here. There are some lower view count ones. So you could have a tough time with this game in the mornings on the U.S. side of things. And then likely because at this point in time, 9:30 a.m. would be like 9:30 p.m. in Philippine time. So it's starting to get a little bit later there, like noon. Far less. Also, the amount of time it takes you to scroll to the end tells you how many people are streaming this. It didn't take me very long on Call of Duty Mobile to get to the end. And I only saw I think less than 5 zeros, and they were like up here at the top, I think. So this one would be, this one I would say this one's solid. Is it going to blow up like Mobile Legends? Probably depends on the time of day. I'd have to check back at different times of day at this list to see what it looks like. But it was really rare on this list that there was a stream that didn't have viewers. There were only a couple that had zeros. That's how you do your research, guys. Go through and check on the top titles and see what they look like in terms of viewership in that way. I'll see what Mobile Legends looks like. Let's just get an example here. Mobile Legends during the day, there are 1 or 2 streamers, I think, that can get up to 20,000 concurrent viewers at any given time. So sometimes over half of the viewership is on the single stream for this game. So it is more likely that you will see zeros and ones, maybe. Although,
dude, look at all those streams with hundreds and thousands. I mean, look how consistently there is big streamers, hundreds, over 100, over 100. I mean, look how consistent these viewers, these channels are, like these kind of like small to mid-sized channels that are breaking out. To me, that's a huge indicator. If there are that many channels kind of breaking out from the 100 or so, breaking into the hundreds to thousands, that's really good. That means that you can really build an audience for that game.
Yeah, as just going through here, like you can kind of get an idea of the average in your head. And I already know the average because I streamed this game. But I mean, if you look through here, you'll see in the hundreds is the average. And a lot of streams range from like 50 to 200, which I would say is about the average for this game. You'll notice a lot of streams fit within that number range. Like a good many of them do, which means it's likely that you could get into that number range pretty much no matter what your stream is like. As long as you have like a basic amount of quality, like not everybody's even on camera with this stuff. Not a lot of them aren't high quality, but they're still going to get high viewership. Notice that there's almost no zeros. I think I only saw like 1 or 2 at the very top, but they might not even have been there at the top either. And almost none of them have just one. There's 1 0, 1 2. There's a couple with 2, but also notice it didn't take me too long to scroll to the bottom. It took me about just as long to scroll to the bottom as it did for Call of Duty Mobile, which means there's more viewers and there's less streamers. So this goes back to supply and demand. You could technically tally these up if you wanted to, but I feel like I get a good sense just from scrolling through the feed. I'm like, okay, there's not too many zeros here. I didn't have to scroll forever, and there's a ton of viewers. The average seems to be somewhat high. That tends to play out pretty accurate in my experience.
That makes sense. Let's go back to the games listing and just review the top 10 one more time and take it out of here. Number 1 game on Facebook Gaming is PUBG Mobile. Number 2, Free Fire Battlegrounds. Number 3, Mobile Legends. Number 4 and 5 fluctuate between Arena of Valor and Grand Theft Auto 5. PUBG, regular PUBG, it floats in the top 10. Dota 2, it floats in the top 10. League of Legends, it floats in the top 10, along with Call of Duty Modern Warfare and Call of Duty Warzone. At the bottom of the list, at that number 10 spot, you tend to have a little bit of a battle, but generally speaking, Call of Duty Mobile is right there at the bottom of the list, and that's kind of the cap. As the bottom of the list of games that are viable to stream. Sometimes Minecraft breaks in there, but Minecraft is really inconsistent. So I'd say Call of Duty Mobile is the cutoff at the very bottom of the list. That's your top 10 right now. But all of you guys that are watching, you need to do your own research. You need to do what we just did. You need to go look and see how viable are these games to cover. You need to look at the supply and the demand. You need to look at how consistent the viewers are spread out across all these different streams. And if you're seeing a lot of zeros, you're seeing a lot of donuts, you're probably going to be a donut as well. Thank you so much for watching. And as always, I need to remind you, we are restreaming this show on all platforms. Twitch, DLive, Facebook, YouTube, and Periscope simultaneously. If you want to discover platforms like Facebook Gaming, if you want to break out right now and not be stuck on a platform that suddenly closes down out of nowhere like Mixer, then you should probably be restreaming to multiple platforms. And if you get fan subscriptions and in-stream ads, as we discussed in our previous episode, Perrin, I don't think you're exclusive at all, so you can continue to restream. Isn't that convenient?
Yeah, I don't have any sort of partnership contract with Facebook. I just had to agree to their terms and service for fan subs and in-stream ads, so I can keep restreaming, and it's great. I love it.
That's fantastic. So link in the description below on all of our streams, also in the about section of all of our pages, Facebook, Twitter. If you'd like to get $10 off your first month of Restream.io, or because you listen to the end, you get the discount code DROP25, DROP25, DROP25 to get 25% off Restream.io. That is code DROP25. So you can stream everywhere and you can grow as fast as possible. Thank you so much for listening to the Digital Drop today. We really appreciate it. And we'll see you in the next episode. Go actually test these strategies yourself. Don't just listen to us talk about it. Go do it. Adios.